Hey guys, Clay here, and this is Technically Awesome, where you learn how to have awesome technique and become technically awesome. This is part 2 of the 3 things you need to know to start playing the bass, and today we're looking at your right hand technique. And I'm going to show you the secret to how your right hand technique might be the answer to finding that amazing tone and speed you wish you had. So grab your bass and let's get started. Okay, so first of all, if you're new to the channel, I do weekly bass videos and lessons, so please hit that subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, make sure you ring that bell and enable alerts so you don't miss out on anything. Now, last time we had a look at your body position and setup. If you haven't seen that video, there should be a little eye symbol somewhere up here to my left. Click that if you want to watch that first. But today, we're taking a look at the perfect right hand technique and my rule of thumb. So there's many types of right hand technique, from picking to harmonics, slapping to tapping. But the most common and most useful for all styles of music is the 2-finger fingerstyle technique. Don't get me wrong, all those other techniques are needed as well to be a well-rounded bass player able to play any style and genre, but fingerstyle works best for the vast majority of styles. So we will start today by getting the perfect fingerstyle technique sorted. Now, we start by placing our right hand thumb on the black box here called the pickup. Pickups vary from bass to bass. If your bass has 2 pickups on it, then you want to place your thumb either at the back edge of the front pickup or the front edge of the back pickup. The zone between the pickups is the most ideal all-round tone on the bass. Too far back and the tone becomes too thin and trebly, and too far forward and you lose definition in your notes and your string is too floppy to be able to play it fast. That's why if you have just one pickup, that is likely where it will be located. So just try and be as central as possible inside that sweet tone zone. Once in position, we use our first and second fingers to alternately pluck the string. Some people do use 3 fingers like Robert Trujillo of Metallica, but for this lesson, we're just going to stick to 2. Many of the fastest bass players in the world still only use 2 fingers, so let's try and master that first. Now, make sure your wrist is back and your fingers are nice and flat and not too bent. Then, when you pluck the string, you pluck straight through the string and into the body of the bass and your thumb. This goes back to what we were talking about last week about reducing the angles in your fingers, but also reduces the distance each finger has to move. If you pluck up and away from the string, you have to physically stop your finger's momentum. By this stage, it's often traveled up to about 20 to 30 millimeters, but if you pluck straight down and into the pickup, then your bass and your thumb stop your finger's momentum for you and reduces this distance to less than 10 millimeters per note. And if you're playing a few hundred or thousand notes per song, you're going to be plenty grateful for this by the end of your gig. Also, having something stop your finger's momentum makes a huge difference to your fatigue as you play. Just ask yourself, what would you find more tiring? Punching a punching bag as hard as you can for 1 minute, or punching the air as hard as you can for 1 minute? It's way more tiring having to punch the air because you have to stop your own momentum. So let your bass and your thumb be your punching bag. Now, as you move down to the next string, you need to learn about my rule of thumb. This is one of the secrets of having great tone on the bass. I can't tell you how often I have students ask for advice on what bass or what amp will help give them a nice tight punchy tone. But the majority of your tone on the bass starts at your fingers. Where people often lose clarity in their bass tone is from leaving unplayed strings open to vibrate as they play. Have a listen to me play the same riff here twice. Once with my hand on the pickup the whole time, and then with my thumb and fingers muting the unplayed strings. Note, you might want to use headphones to hear the low rumble that I'm referring to, and especially listen to the end when I stop playing, as that's when it's most obvious. So, as you can hear, the unplayed strings leave a lot of low frequency rumble even if you don't touch them. Just the vibration of you playing a string will make the others rumble and mess up your tight punchy tone. So here's how we fix that. Firstly, your left hand should always be touching the strings below where you were playing, keeping those strings quiet. The issue always comes from the string above the one you're currently playing. So what we do is, as you move down to the A string, you can leave your thumb on the pickup, but make sure you now let your fingers stop on the string above. This will give you all the benefits from before, like stopping your momentum and reducing the distance, but most importantly it will mute that string to stop it rumbling away and messing up your tone from the vibrations of you playing the A string. So when you alternate your fingers, you will always have one muting the string above the one you are playing, which means at any given moment you should have one finger up, about to play, and the other is down, muting the string above. Now we repeat this as we move down the strings, but as you get to the D string you must now change your right hand thumb position. Our fingers are way faster and more stable when they are close to our thumb, so drop your thumb down off the pickup onto the E string. And this will mean that your thumb now mutes the E string and your fingers will mute the A string. You can also play the A string in that position, but when you need to play the G string, you must now drop down one more position. Your right hand thumb is now muting both the top two strings and your alternating fingers are muting the D string, meaning only the string you want to hear can make a sound. So the rule of thumb for the right hand is this. 1. Drop your thumb down a position whenever your fingers reach a string that is 3 strings away from your thumb. And 2. Only move back up a position when you need to play the string your thumb is sitting on. Playing scales is a great way to learn this technique, as you have to transition your thumb positions at different times on the way up to on the way down. Disclaimer! Now, there are no absolute rules in music. I guess, except for that one. But what that means is there will always be exceptions to these rules, but they do work the vast majority of the time and it's a great foundation to start with. But if you've got a situation where you think you should break one of these rules, just ask yourself, does it still qualify for the 2 reasons why we use that rule? Number 1, is it more efficient? And 2, does it still mute the unplayed strings that we don't want to hear? For example, one such common exception to my rule of thumb is if I'm playing a lot of octaves repeatedly. It's probably not that helpful to jump my thumb back and forth constantly between positions. But in this situation, it's fine to leave your thumb in one position because 1, it's more efficient, and 2, the muting will be taken care of by my left hand first finger lying on the strings as I play the octave. So this is the secret to having great tone from your right hand on the bass. Usually my tone is very similar on any bass that I play because so much of my tone is not in my bass and my amp, but comes from my fingers and my technique. So make sure to invest your time in your personal finger tone before you spend too much money investing in your gear tone. But that's it guys, so now that we have sorted your body position and your right hand technique, it's time to take a look at your left hand technique. So part 3 on left hand technique is going to be out real soon, but until then, why don't you try out one of my Riff in a Minute lessons and try applying what you've already learned. But that's all for now guys, so until next time, go play, practice and play some more.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then click on one of these 2 videos to see what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Hey, they're both my videos. Good choice, YouTube.